Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beyond My Knowing. I'm Chris Hackala. This episode, we're starting off with the second part of the Mt.Shasta trip, and that was still November 2023. And this is called the Changeling. Before we left Shasta, we had walked around all the shops and looked at crystals. One particular crystal shop, about a block off the main drag, had some interesting crystals. One crystal in particular was a Himalayan quartz. The shop owner showed it to us. He seemed a little odd, like he was from another planet. He had said that there was a changeling that was attached to that crystal. It was a nice crystal, so we didn't think much about what he said about the changeling, so we bought it. When we got home, I slept with the crystal next to my side of the bed. After a couple of nights, I had a vision. In my vision, I saw an orange orb in the sky, and it came to me. It felt warm and loving, and I put my arms out to give it a hug. It was at this point that the changeling merged itself with my body. The next day, I walked down our walkway outside to grab our mail. Just before I got back to the front porch, my legs gave out and my arms went numb from my elbows down. I barely got inside the house. Thank goodness my beloved was there to help me get back in the house. I thought this was very strange. Nothing like this has ever happened to me in all of my years. Then we started thinking about the changeling and my vision the night before. The next day, my arms went numb again, and then it faded away. My body felt off. I couldn't explain it. It just didn't feel right. One more day of these same issues, and I accepted the fact that the changeling had merged with me. I thought I would take the bull by the horns, so to speak. That night, I had a plan. When I went to bed, I had the Himalayan quartz next to the bed, and I called in Archangel Michael for muscle and Yeshua for love. I told them they couldn't leave until the changeling went back into his crystal or he went to the light. As I fell asleep, I struck up a conversation with the changeling, with Archangel Michael and Yeshua on my right side. I told the changeling that my human body was not compatible with him and that his energy would end up killing me and my human body, and then he wouldn't have anywhere to live. I told him he had two options. Archangel Michael would escort him to the light and be transmuted, or he could go back into his crystal. He chose to go back inside his crystal. The next morning, my beloved checked in with Source and was told that the Changeling Council would allow this changeling being to come back. All we had to do was leave the Himalayan quartz on our front porch overnight, and then they would retrieve him. This next one is a vision and an event. My beloved saw a small red figure by the bed that made a noise like a cat jumping onto the floor. Then she received a download of a name, Ghost Town, Mason Le Pure. Then, the following day, a friend dropped by. One of my trucker's hats got thrown onto the floor. So I thought it was the wind because the door was open, and I put it back on the hook. 30 seconds later, it got thrown onto the floor again, and this time the door was closed. So my beloved tapped in to the energy and discovered it was a young man, and his name was Mason Lepure. He died in a neighborhood fire 50 years ago, and he has been wandering the neighborhood ever since. And then he found us, someone who could see him. So we called in Archangel Michael to come in and help him and escort him to the light so that he could continue his soul journey. My next vision, Ishtar. Ishtar came into my field last night. I'm not sure why just yet. Then I was given a name, Seth, and told daughter was the key. I was also told to replace the salt at all doorways if we use it. The frequency of this information was very high. My beloved felt my legs vibrating and then moving up to my face while we were sleeping. This next event is an activation and a vision. The universal chakra. Brother Vince activated my universal chakra today. When he did this, he saw scar tissue in the right side of my back. This morning at 3 a.m., I saw and felt a metal sphere the size of an orange circle me and then go into my back where the scar tissue is. I saw an infinity sign as it entered my body. I felt two beings as this was happening, and they said, "Do we need to go to the base?" December 2023, tarot card. I saw a card with a star on it. The card had a mottled brown and black background, and the star was on the top of the card. It was a puff, five-pointed star with whitish blue color and a red sash that went across the top point of the star. My next vision, there's a man inside my head looking out through my eye. I was inside of a woman's body, and I was looking out through her left eye. And I saw her iris as I was looking through. It was a gray-blue color. I saw the woman who she was talking with. She had many wrinkles and had a round face, and her hair was grayish, whitish blonde. I could feel myself moving my head and trying to get a better view of this woman that I was speaking with. But my personal view would not change unless this woman I was in turned her head. My next view was of a pink rose coming up to my nose, and the rose had already bloomed. All I could see were the yellow dots on the end of the stamens. I am still looking through her eye at this point, and then I hear a conversation with no vision. The one woman says she hasn't had an event in a long time. The woman that I am in says, yes, not since I lived in Arizona. The first woman asks, where at in Arizona? And then the woman that I am in says, in Marcy, by Brookfield. My next vision is a separate vision, but it's the same night, and I think it's linked to the other two women. So we are in a car, and we pull up to a large driveway with a large, ornate, carved wooden gate that goes across the driveway. It is sunny with clear blue sky. As we pull up, there is a man in his 20s that opens the gate. He has brown hair that is pulled back tightly into a man bun at the back of his head. His uniform he is wearing is blue and orange. His uniform is very baggy and puffy, and the blue and orange colors are vertical in 1-inch stripes that are in an abstract pattern, but are all still going vertical. His uniform reminds me of the Pope Guard uniforms. The following night, I saw a woman's face that was outlined. Her lips, her nose, her eyes, her eyebrows, and her eyelashes. Everything was outlined in black line. My view was looking up at her from the right side of her lips. And then I saw a beautiful blue aquamarine tear fall from her eye. 10 days later, I'm shown approximately 12 Mayan symbols, and then 2 symbols illuminated, and those were the jaguar and the dragon. Then I was shown a Mayan pyramid. Then the steps of the pyramid going to the top were illuminated, and also an illumination that went under the pyramid. My next vision was the face of Odin, and we were looking face to face, and then his face slowly changed into my face. My next vision, the yurt. I was in a yurt. There were 2 high priestess and 12 women that were arranged on the floor in 2 half circles facing the front where the 2 high priestess were. I was one of only 2 males there, and we were at the back of the yurt. The high priestess started chanting in a language I was not familiar with. This chant was for the divine feminine, for their compassion for each other, and their love for each other. When the high priestess was done chanting, the women who were all laying down in their spots sat up to be blessed. And I, as the one male and the other male that was there, we were privileged to be here to Om during this process. We were very humbled and privileged to be allowed to be in this sacred space during this time. This was the balance between feminine and masculine to allow us to Om during this process. December 24th, 2023. Wings like an angel. In my vision, I saw a white gold ball of light coming towards me in my field. It kept getting closer and dropping down lower as it came. Then it started to stop and land. As it did this, the shape of light became an energy being, and it emerged with what appeared to be wings like an angel. As this energy being landed, it opened up vertically, and inside of it was a little boy who was bent over, who stood up and started walking towards me. Then the vision faded away. January 2024. The beginning of the year, day 1. I heard a loud, pristine water drop. Hearing this was a knowing that my scrying pool in my Akashic room was activated. I then went to my pool and the waters swirled as I ran my hand across the top of the pool. I was told, a little one is coming, a little one is coming. And then to the right side of the pool, the net of the flower of life appeared. And beneath the flower of life, it glowed with the color of apricot. After this, I heard the movements of a large stone sliding into place twice. January 2nd, 2024, Chanupa pipe carrier. I've been asked by some beloved friends, elders, to be a Chanupa pipe carrier. To accept this is a great honor, and to be accepted with humility, trust, love, and integrity. I have started to make my pipe with traditional pipestone. In my vision last night, I was in a teepee. I could not talk. And as I could not talk, I started to sing or wail in my sleep for about 30 seconds in my indigenous language. And this woke myself up and my beloved. When I went back to sleep, I asked the Divine Mother to show me and help me to understand that vision. At that point, I came out of the teepee to find a small fire and 12 chiefs around the fire. They were in a half circle around the fire in front of the tent. They said I needed to find my voice to be part of the council. Chief Red Cloud was the head of the council. He sat further in from the circle of all the other chiefs. Chief Red Cloud was speaking to me in our indigenous language. I think this vision has to do with the pipe that I am creating. My next vision. This was of a large cinder cone on the side of a volcano. I feel that this was in the Pacific Northwest. It was erupting and shooting or spitting pieces of hot rock and ash into the air. My next vision, baby. My beloved and I were giving a blonde-haired baby girl a bottle. There was white tile on the floor, and I saw a lapis lazuli ring on someone's hand. This ring was larger than most rings. It was squared on the sides and came up taller as if there were pictures carved into the front of it. Okay, everyone, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned. Next episode is very interesting and kind of a doozy. Remember to shine your light and raise your frequency. And please hit the like and subscribe button. Love you all.